Hello friends, welcome back to Flavors and the Knowledge, the podcast dedicated to gastronomic education, healthy living, and the pure joy of eating well. I'm your host, Ethan Clark, speaking to you from Chef Walter's Cooking School right here in Cranston, Rhode Island, USA. Today's episode is called How to Make Tuscan Bread. In the rolling hills of Tuscany, where olive groves whisper ancient secrets and cypress trees stand sentinel over timeless landscapes, there exists a bread as humble and enduring as the region itself. Tuscan bread, the iconic unsalted bread known locally as foolish bread. This rustic loaf, with its thick, crackling crust and soft, airy crumb dotted with irregular holes, has been a cornerstone of Tuscan tables for centuries, embodying the philosophy of cucina povera, simple, resourceful cooking that transforms basic ingredients into something profound. The story of Pane Toscano begins in the Middle Ages, amid the fierce rivalries of Italy's city-states, when salt, a precious commodity used to preserve food, became a weapon in economic warfare. One enduring legend traces its saltless nature to the 12th century feud between Florence and its coastal rival, Pisa, which controlled vital trade routes and imposed crippling blockades or exorbitant taxes on salt shipments to the inland republic, making the ingredient prohibitively expensive for ordinary bakers and families. Rather than yield, Florentines defiantly baked their bread without it, an act of rebellion that evolved into a cherished tradition. Other tales suggest that high salt taxes across the region, or the frugality of peasant farmers who reserved scarce salt for curing prosciutto, salami, and pecorino cheeses, led to the same outcome. Whatever the precise origin, the absence of salt proved brilliantly suited to Tuscany's bold, flavorful cuisine, rich stews, salty cured meats, and pungent cheeses that would overwhelm a salted loaf, allowing the bread to serve as a neutral canvas for soaking up sauces in the beloved scarpetta ritual or starring in recycled masterpieces like ribollita, a hearty vegetable and bread soupy, tomato bread porridge, and panzanella, summer salad of stale bread, tomatoes, and basil. Without salt, the bread also stales quickly, encouraging this ingenious no-waste ethos central to Tuscan life. Today, authentic Tuscan bread carries a Protected Designation of Origin (DOP) status, ensuring it's made with specific flours, natural leavening, and no salt, often in wood-fired ovens for that signature reddish-brown crust. Yet its simplicity, just flour, water, and yeast, makes it remarkably accessible to recreate at home, yielding a large, round bozza or elongated filone that stays fresh for days before transforming into culinary gold when stale. To bake traditional Tuscan bread, begin the evening before by preparing a biga or preferment for deeper flavor. Dissolve a quarter teaspoon active dry yeast in 2/3 of a cup of lukewarm water, around 100-110 degrees Fahrenheit. Then stir in 1 1/4 cups bread flour until a thick, sticky batter forms, cover loosely, and let ferment overnight in a cool spot for 8 to 12 hours until bubbly and doubled. The next day, activate 1 1/4 teaspoons active dry yeast in 1/3 of a cup of lukewarm water until foamy. Then combine it with the biga, 1 cup lukewarm water, and gradually incorporate about 4 cups bread flour, or a mix of all-purpose and a touch of whole wheat for authenticity, kneading by hand or mixer for 8-10 minutes until the dough is smooth, soft, and slightly tacky but not sticky. Adjust with sprinkles of flour or water as needed. Remembering no salt is added, form into a ball, place in a lightly oiled bowl, cover, and let rise in a warm spot for 1 to 2 hours until doubled. Gently deflate the dough on a floured surface, shape into 1 large round loaf or 2 smaller ones, dusting the bottom with semolina or cornmeal to prevent sticking, then transfer to a parchment-lined baking sheet or preheated baking stone. Cover loosely and proof for another 45 to 60 minutes until puffed. Preheat the oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit with a pan of water on the lower rack for steam to create that essential crust. Slash the top in a tic-tac-toe pattern or simple crosses to allow expansion without cracking unpredictably. Then bake for 35 to 45 minutes, reducing heat to 400 degrees Fahrenheit after the first 15 minutes if browning too quickly, until the loaf sounds hollow when tapped and reaches an internal temperature of 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Cool completely on a rack before slicing, as the crumb sets during resting. Fresh, This bread shines drizzled with peppery new olive oil for a gala crumb toast, paired with salty finocchione salami or aged pecorino, or alongside bean-heavy soups. When stale after a day or two, it becomes indispensable for those classic recycled dishes that define Tuscan soul food. Mastering Tuscan bread at home connects you to centuries of resilient bakers who turned necessity into an art form, proving that sometimes less truly yields more in the pursuit of pure, honest flavor. In conclusion, dear listeners, I would like to remind you that all our podcasts are featured on all your preferred platforms. Please join us for the next round for another exciting and educational content. You can join us and take cooking classes at our school to elevate your talent. Lastly, if you are in the kitchen, keep your eyes on the fire. Thanks for the privilege of your time.